Hi everybody, it's just a lovely Saturday here in the Cook Islands. This is my third day, and it's fascinating to see the market today. It is the best event. A lot of people will go, locals and foreigners as well, gather together in Avarua, which is about 5 miles from here, which I walk. Another walking cardio workout for me today. It's lovely to see the locals selling their products as well as their live music as well as food. There's a lot of fresh foods, juices, as well as handicrafts, as well as other bargain stuff. But by the way, here in the Cook Island, you never haggle. So haggling here is an art. Although haggling is an art, unlike in other nations, like you can haggle in Cambodia or like in Thailand, but here you don't haggle. So if you haggle, they will not say something bad, but they may give you a face. All right. So whatever price mark, you pay what is printed. So the prices are printed anyway, so you know how much they're selling the product. You will not gonna be cheated. That's my experience. That's what I noticed. All the price, all the merchandise in the market today. So in Avarua, in the main town, was all they're all marked. So you don't haggle. Keep that in mind. If you go to the Cook Island, don't haggle because haggling here is not an art. So today I walk again to the town and I got to see the locals there as well as the foreigners. The best way to see locals and their products and their culture is aside from wandering around and looking right left and you see local doing their daily routines, riding on a bus, is go to the market. That's the best place to see the culture of the nation. Try to avoid restaurants for tourists. You will never see culture there, as a matter of fact. So you will see your own kind. You're the same kind, especially if you're going to a French restaurant in a Cook Island. Why would I go to a French restaurant and I'm in a Cook Island? I would like to go to the local areas and eat the local foods as long as it's vegetarian. It's quite daunting to look for vegetarian food here. So because they are okay, all their products, all their pastries primarily have meat. Once in a while, I can see some meatless product. Just like yesterday, it was fascinating to go to the brown market again, and in that brown market yesterday, it was a treat. I was over the moon when I saw that they are carrying. They had this taro leaf, which I love taro. So it's meatless. It's kind of hot because there is a chili, and it has a coconut milk as well. That was my dinner last night together with a little bit of pasta, and that made my day. But primarily here, it's all meat. As a matter of fact, I went to a cafe on my way back to my flat, and I didn't see anything. They sell their own version of hamburger, not even a bread, okay, just a plain bread. Every bread has meat fillings inside, so it's very rare occasions so that you will see. But of course, there are fresh vegetables here. Vegetables here are quite pricey, right? So it's quite pricey because a lot of vegetables are grown in hydroponically because of the lack of water, and some are imported from Australia. So, but there are fresh veggies available here as well. Okay, in town you can see that in town as well as the market today. There's quite a lot of fresh veggies. So also today I went to the other side of the town. So on this direction. So I'm facing the main road, right? I'm facing the main road. So I'm right here in my flat. So that's the main road. You see the mountains. So that's the mountains. I'm facing the nice slopes of the mountains, and I'm just ending my Saturday here. So recapping what I've done. So Today I went on to both direction. So this way to Avarua, which is the main town where the market is, and then went back to my flat, and then I went all the way to the Muri beach because that's the area, that's the beach where it's safe to snorkel. I didn't snorkel today because it's almost late in the afternoon. I plan doing it sometime. Behind this apartment, there is a beach access called Corals Beach, just right behind the apartment, the flat. But it's not advisable to do water sports because it's so rocky, and the waves are quite strong. So this is, I think this considered as one of the passages here in the Cook Island. If you look at their map, so it's indicated there are several passages. They call it passages. It's not recommended surfing, snorkeling, swimming, paddling, stand-up paddling is not are not permitted because of the dangerous conditions. Extremely rocky. The waves are quite strong. But on the other side, it's about 2 to 2.5 kilometers from here. So there is a Muri Beach. Right. So this is my third day in the Cook Islands. So it's been a lovely, it's a great decision to change my plan instead of spending 7 days in Hawaii. I decided to turn around instead of heading to back to Hawaii and seeing Lanai and Molokai. I decided to instead go to the Cook Islands. So I've been to Hawaii multiple times. I can go to Hawaii anytime, and Cook Island is just a flight away. So from New Zealand, so I decided. So I switched my itinerary. I think it's a great decision. Seeing this another Pacific nation. So they are Polynesians. They're very friendly. They're very open and open up a conversation. You will. It will take forever. As a matter of fact, so I've been walking to the town for 2 days now, and every day I always had a chinwag, okay, with locals, especially on that direction. There were two locals that they always see me, and we had a great conversation, about the island, about anything basically. Okay, about dogs. As a matter of fact, even the locals, okay, they're kind of, a lot of them don't like dogs, because they chase you. That's why here all people, tourists, locals, so they are either on a bus, private automobiles, and motorcycle, bicycle. So you will seldom see people walking. And then in my case, I'm a walker. So I love doing it for, once again, as I always say, for exercise, because in traveling, you want to make sure that you combine your regular exercise, because you're gonna get fat. That's the reality, especially because you break up your routine. So especially when you indulge with the local food. In my case, my travel style, I don't indulge on local food. I think that's the benefit of being vegetarian. So I want to make sure that I eat healthy, reasonable amount, and exert and burn the calories, for healthy reason. And if I can walk, if I can, I would rather walk than ride on an automobile or a public bus, not unless I need to. So buses here are very common, quite common. So unlike in Tuvalu, wherein there is no public transportation, here there are two buses. So they call it the clockwise and anti-clockwise. So the island, the Rarotonga, is circular. You search it on the map, it's circular. So there's two buses that start from the town, and you either take the anti-clockwise or the clockwise. So it's circular. So whichever bus you take, you will end up to whatever destination you want. But it depends on where you are coming from. I call it the circumferential road, and depending on where you're coming from, and it will tells you how long the transport is. Like for instance, on my way to the airport, I plan to take the bus instead of hiring a taxi cab, because right across the street, or right next to the apartment, there are buses. Okay, but you gotta wait There's they do have their own timetable. And I've noticed that the Cook Island, it's more touristic. Maybe I would say there's more tourists here as compared to the Tuvalu, of course. So as I mentioned in my previous video, Tuvalu is the least visited nation in the world, but it's something to consider in your next travel destination if you are after the culture. Here at the Cook Island, also of course, culture is lovely, but there's a lot of tourists here. Tourists are primarily coming from the Pacific, coming from New Zealand because it's very close. Australian, seldom you see tourists from the United States. I think I am the only one. I guess because I've never seen anybody. You can figure out where are they coming from based on their intonation and English. All right. So I saw a lot of New Zealanders here because it primarily Cook Island was formerly under the New Zealand. As a matter of fact, but back in 19, I think that was 65. I hope I remember the date right. That was a time when the Cook Islanders decided to be self-governing. Now, Cook Island is self-governing, but they do have a free association with New Zealand. They have their own government. They have their own prime minister. As a matter of fact, today, heading back to town on my way to Blue Sky because I needed to reload to top up. The word here is to top up. To top up my mobile phone because I'm running out of gigs. So I added another 3 gigs for this phone. So I saw next to it is the office of the Prime Minister, kind of like the Malacanang in the Philippines or the White House in the United States, or any high-ranking official residence. So it was lovely to see. It's just around the residential community. There's not even a security officer. So this is how safe this island is. Actually, yesterday I think I saw. I'm pretty sure that's the Prime Minister during the parade, the float parade yesterday, because before the parade starts in Avarua, so there was a special government automobile with a flag, with Cook Island's flag. Of course, they have their own flag, and a patrol. So that tells me, okay, this is a high-ranking official. I'm pretty sure that's the Prime Minister, because yesterday, Saturday, meaning Friday, is the start of their kind of like float parade. There was a massive float parade yesterday. It was lovely. So I never expect that. So it's nice to be here in July because of it. So July is a cool season. It's kind of the winter season. It's a cool. And as a matter of fact, I even stopped using the AC in my apartment because it's pretty cold, especially right at night. But here it could be scorching hot. All right, so I will still be here in the next couple of days. Tomorrow my plan is to go to church. So there is oh my God, there's massive number of churches here, especially on this side. So this side of the Matavera, this is where the village or the town that I'm staying. At least there are, up to the Moores Beach, I saw it's about 6 different churches. The Cook Islands Church, and then there is a Roman Catholic Church, there is a Seventh-day Adventist Church, but a lot of Christian church. There's a Revival Church. There's a church everywhere, also in this direction. So Cook Island is a Christian nation. So Christianity here was introduced during the landing of the English people here. As a matter of fact, in Avarua, the main town, you will see the main Cook Islands Christian church. Okay, and, that was the first church established here, the first Christian church way back in the 17th century. And according to information I got, that church was destroyed by cyclone way back in time. Now it has been retrofitted for a better foundation. Alright, so as I mentioned, I will be here in the Cook Island the next 2 days, and I expect the weather to be dry, so for me to be able to climb, do the trekking, because I want to climb to the Needle, which is the best treks here. It takes about 4 to 5 hours two-way. So according to information, so you gotta be at least fit enough to hike, to go to the trek. Otherwise, it will be difficult, right? Because there's a lot of switchbacks as far as I know. Actually, I can do it alone, but I decided to have a guide for this one. Okay, it's better to have a guide. Okay, for trekking this mountain here in the Cook Island. I want to see the needle. All right, and go to the needle and see and have a 360 degree view of the island. All right, so that if there is no rain, because if there's rain, it's not advisable. Anyway, so I will play by ear. But tomorrow I will head to one of the Christian churches here in Matavera. So it's Happy Out of the Nation for more than a month now, almost 2 months. I left in June 8. I started in, of course, I left the nation from San Francisco to Hawaii. And then I flew to Federated States of Micronesia. I explored the 4 states of Micronesia. I started in Pohnpei and then flew to Kosrae. Lovely to see Kosrae and how solemn Sunday is. Nobody on the road. And then flew to Chuuk, and I think the Chukis are the friendliest among the Micronesians I've met. But all of them are friendly though. But in my opinion, my experience, Chukis are the friendliest. And then went to Yop, very traditional. Okay, they still use the stone money, which is the best and most important experience I had in Yop. And from Yop, I flew to the Northern Marianas Islands, explore Saipan. It's fascinating to see a lot of Japanese and American relics here during the World War II. And mind you, there are tons of Filipinos in the Marshall Islands. I'm sorry, yeah, no, not to the in Marianas Islands. Sorry, also in the Marshall Island, by the way. So I was in the Marshall Islands last December, and this time in the summers I went. Part of my summer trip is the Northern Marianas, and then I explored Saipan. Also in the Federated States, there are a handful of Filipinos. Filipinos are everywhere. Everywhere. Primarily, a lot of Filipinos that I encountered, that I met, they work in hotels, and a lot of them are bookkeepers and accountants. And then, excuse me, they handle financial matters. And then, excuse me, it's just my allergy here. So they handle a lot of financial matters, and then a lot of contents bookkeepers, especially in Saipan, and that tells me something about their financial honesty and being trustworthy, I guess. All right, and then from Saipan, I flew to the Philippines. It's lovely to see the nation once again, where my roots are. I was in Negros Oriental, went to Dumaguete City, and then I explored Siquijor. I think Siquijor is an island in the Philippines that I will consider if I decide to leave the United States and retire. Outside the United States, I would consider that part of the Philippine Islands in Siquijor. Lovely. And then from Siquijor, I went to the turtle, no, the marine turtle sanctuary, and that's the Apo Island. And then from the Philippines, I flew to the Republic of Tonga. So it's a place that I will always remember because of the friendliness of the people. And mind you, in Tonga, similar to Kosrae on Sunday, I feel it's like kind of like a ghost town because nobody on the road. Everybody's in church. Okay, so everybody's in church in Kosrae. Everybody's in church in Tonga on Sunday. In Tuvalu, it's pretty much the same thing. Pretty much everything is closed after 10. But I saw there's several people on the road on Sunday. But on Sunday, in Funafati, a lot of businesses are closed, but they reopen after the service around 1 or 2. Like life, kind of like life is back to normal. But in Tonga Tapu, which is the main island of Tonga, as well as in Kostrai, one of the islands in the Micronesia. You will never see anybody on the road. Actually, I was the only one walking going to church that day. And then from Tonga, I flew to Fiji. I've been to Fiji multiple times. Fiji was one of the hubs because the only way I can fly to Tuvalu is from Fiji. Fiji is something. I've been there and I love the Fijian people. Bula, they're really really friendly. And then from Fiji, I flew to one of my dream destination in the Pacific, which is Tuvalu, which is an island in the Central Pacific that is in the front line of the climate change. It's an eye opener. It's something that I will treasure. The resiliency of the people. The poverty is quite daunting. The least visited nation in the world. As a matter of fact, United Nations categorized it as it's a 183rd member of United Nations, and formerly a British colony. And they since they had their liberation from the United Nations, meaning from the United Kingdom, so they become a sovereign nation. And the UN categorizes Tuvalu as one of the poorest nations in the world. In spite of the poverty, there's a free education, and about almost 100% of the children have attended a primary school, and they try their best to be educated. I think that's a drive for the young people to pursue their education career, because Tuvalu, according to the scientific investigations, I hope this will won't happen the next 50 to 100 years. Tuvalu will be underwater. Hopefully not. I'm okay. Before my eyes, I saw the effect of the climate change. I went to the reservation area and I saw fallen coconut in the erosion, and it's quite daunting. So it's real. It's real. I believe it's real. That the global climate has been changing, and the people in Tuvalu, in Kiribati, I was there last December, in the Marshall Islands as well, Maldives, and other low-lying atoll islands in the Pacific have been affected or are being affected by the rising of the water. Considering the wildfires in Greenland this time. Could you imagine wildfires in Greenland? What happened now to those geysers? They have been melting fastly, causing the rising of the water in the ocean swiftly. Plus, not to forget the saltwater intrusion. That's why in low-lying atolls, the agriculture is not a cup of tea. So it's daunting to see tall, thin, small coconut trees falling off the ground, and the pulaka, which is the main dish of the Tuvaluans, is no longer quite common, because even the salt water are spurting out from the ground, because the land is very porous. It's an atoll island. It's a volcanic island, very thin, very narrow. So the salt water from the ocean is getting through the water table. So a lot of the wells in Tuvalu, in Kiribati, in the Marshall Island are not quality enough. The water is not fresh quality enough for human consumption. So they primarily depend on the rain. So one of the learning experiences, okay, of course, as the saying goes, every drop counts. It really, especially for the Tuvaluans. Alright, and then from Tuvalu, I flew to this nation, which is the Cook Islands. So this is my last destination in this summer holiday. I've been out since June 8, and today what? It's July 27. I forgot the date. Anyway, so I still have 2 days here in the Cook Islands, and then I'm entering back the U.S. through Hawaii, in Honolulu, and then back home on the 31st. This travel has been a blessing. I never had an experience that I will be regretful. Dogs, it's not something that I need to worry about. Now I'm becoming more, I would say, skillful in staying, in dealing with dogs. Well, dog is quite daunting here. So maybe if you have a heart attack, it's something that you may always feel that you will get your hypertension alleviated here. No, I'm just kidding. All right. So once again, so my hand is stiff. So it's about, I don't know what time. I guess maybe almost 6 or half past 6 in the evening. It's Saturday. So once again, traveling is not arriving to a new destination. It is looking at the world in a different perspective. All right. So lovely to see these nations in the Pacific. I've seen all the regions here, from the Polynesian nations, Melanesian nations, as well as Micronesian nations. Plus, in this trip, it's lovely to head back to the Southeast Asia, to the Philippines, where my roots are from. All right, bye for now. Enjoy the weekend, and then heading to church tomorrow. All right, keep the smile, and the world will smile at you. Cheers. Good night, everyone. Good night from the Rarotonga Island here in the Cook Islands. Cheers.